and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another video, you guys. This video is all about what I am excited to add to my library, add to my TBR for 2026. Now, this is actually really different for me because normally I don't have like this list of anticipated reads for the year. I usually just go in the store outside of like an author like Stephen Graham Jones that I really like, Richard Osman, some of the others I mentioned, which I can't mention off the top of my head. I normally literally just go in the store. Like Benjamin Stevenson is one. So I really don't actually ever have this list of these are books that I just can't wait to come out, unless it's by like an author that I just really, really love and I'm looking for that next fix. But Goodreads and Barnes & Noble actually at the end of the year, and you guys are probably familiar, I've just been ignoring them. They send out like anticipated reads or what to look for the next year at the end of each year. And this year I looked at them and I was like, wait a second, I'm seeing a lot that I am interested in. So I actually did make a list in my Goodreads and I have it on my phone. So I'm going to go through those books. There are 13 books on this list as of right now. And I'll try to highlight when they actually come out according to Goodreads, because I'm finding out that Goodreads is not always the truth. I went looking for one of my books and it doesn't come out until March, but it should have been out in January. So I'm going to give you the date that is in Goodreads, so you'll know when to look for it. Now, another thing you might notice is that my phone is in my hand. And normally I record everything on my phone, but I am testing out this DJI camera. I think that's what it's called. I don't know the version. It's just something my nephew has. And I said, hey, can I test your camera? So I'm going to see how this looks. Y'all let me know how it looks. And it'll also make it, see, this is going to be a problem. People are trying to message me when I'm trying to work and be professional. Hold on. We're going to go ahead and put you on mute. There we go. So you guys let me know how you like it. I'm already looking at the video and I swear it looks clearer and brighter just from what I can see, because that screen is like this big, y'all. I can barely see myself. So hopefully I don't look crooked. If I do look crooked, it's going to be crooked in the video because I won't know until I download it, right? But anyways, it already looks clear. Now this does come with a mic, which my nephew said that like is lost or broken or got broken or something. But if I like to stick with this, I might try the mic, even though the sound to me sounds good. I have noticed when I'm looking at other people's video and they have a mic, I'm like, okay, that sound is super clear and I probably could stop yelling. But I also don't like the little fuzzy ball thing on the shirt, so I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, tell me what you think about it, and I'm going to go and look. I do like the fact that I can look at my phone because then I can give you all the details on the spot. I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and start actually backwards because these are the ones that I recently added just because I read a book by this author. So you're going to hear about that in the February book chat wrap up. It's actually Tiffany D. Jackson and I have 2 books by her. The first one is called The Ghost or Ghost in the Night. That one is going to be published in August. So these first 2 may be a little out of order because the other ones I kind of added as I saw them in the other list. But anyway, so this one is supposed to be out August 4th of this year. And this one is basically about a young woman who, give me a second. She's a young woman. She's 12 years old, so very young. And I will say this, these books by Tiffany D. Jackson that I'm going to talk about and the one that I'm going to talk about in my book chat are young adult books. And the one that I read, Blood in the Water, does really read middle school grade, but it was still such a good book. And I was engrossed, okay? More engrossed than some of the adult books. So Tiffany, if this is what you do with a young adult book, a middle school grade book, please start writing the books, the thrillers for the adults, because we need them. So this one is about a 12-year-old girl named Harmony who moves to Savannah, Georgia. And of course, we know Savannah is known for the ghosts. It's known for the ghosts. I'm in Charleston. It's our sister city, honey. But basically, she's out on like this ghost tour and she takes a picture of what she thinks might be a ghost. And she's trying to figure out, wait, is this real? Is this a hoax? What's going on? And then her and her friends start to look into, you know, things that have happened. So all the lies that have been told, maybe people are covering up a murder, you know, people who have those ambitious goals, you know, have done some things that are unsavory. So basically that's what that one is about. And after reading Blood in the Water, I definitely want to read more of her book. So that one is called Ghost in the Night. I will say when you look at the description, it says the only Black girl on the Ghost tour. So I don't know if it looks like Ghost in the Night is the title that will be published because that's what's like on the book cover. But if you see that title, it is the same book by Tiffany D. Jackson. The next one is The Scammer. It's actually already out. So this is one I just need to pick up. A freshman girl is in college and her life kind of takes a turn when her roommate's ex-convict brother moves into their dorm room. Now, I actually had a roommate that brought some people that were in a halfway house in our dorm. Yes, she did. But this is her roommate's brother. Is it her brother? Wait. Yeah, it's her brother. So her roommate brings her brother, who's an ex-con, living in the house. She just got out of like her overprotective parents. She's in college. She's going to a historically Black university in DC. We're just going to say they're probably trying to, you know, make this after Howard. But okay. Basically, he gets released from prison. He's staying at the dorm. And, you know, because he needs to get on his feet or whatever. So he's really charming, you know, pushing every student he meets to make better choices about their young lives. So he's trying to do the right thing. But Jordan senses something sinister beneath his friendly advice and growing group of followers. So when Jordan's roommate goes missing, she must enlist the help of the university's lone one white student to uncover the mystery or become trapped at the center of a web of lies more than she can imagine. So it seems like the brother might be doing something unsavory that eventually causes his sister to get abducted. I'm excited to read that one. And so I can pick that one up soon, and you can too because it's already out. The next one is Shari Lapena's Getting Away with Murder. I have read other Shari Lapena books. Right now, my favorite is still Everyone Here is Lying. I've read one of her other books, and I have one on my TBR already, but Everyone Here is Lying is by far, out of the two I've read, my favorite. This one is going to come out in July, so it's expected July 28th, so the end of the month. Jill and Ted adore their New York brownstone the way others adore their children. They have carefully, expensively made every inch of it their own. It reflects who they are, status, and taste. With grand mahogany staircases and state-of-the-art kitchen, it is the stuff of glossy magazines and real estate dreams. It's their sanctuary. So when Ted's inheritance runs out, after he makes a bad investment, they panic. How can they protect their beloved home and lifestyle? The answer is obvious, or at least it is obvious to Jill and Ted. The death of one wealthy family member. That's this book, y'all. They want to take somebody out because they're bad at managing money. Who does that? Basically, Ted and Jill. So who they are going to inherit millions from. I think this is crazy because you know what would be the craziest plot twist is if they do, because I don't know if they're going to commit the murder or it's just them plotting to commit the murder. But if they do this and then the will reading happens and they don't even like inherit nothing. So now you done gone and killed your family member who you did not care about. I don't care how old they are. They still your family. You don't even care about them. You go take them out and you don't get shit. Except jail time because you're going to get caught. So, together they will get away with murder as long as they trust each other, as long as neither makes a mistake, as long as there are no surprises. So, my thing is, if you already can't manage money, what you going to do? Knock somebody off every time you make a poor decision? Clearly, you're not the best at decision making if this is your decision, except get your butt in gear and do what you need to do. But hey, you know, people don't like to work for what they got. But that's what that one's about. I am definitely excited to see if they actually kill this family member or if it's just a plot to kill them. So we'll see. The next one is The Anniversary. This one is a thriller. All of these are thrillers. Y'all know me. It's either a thriller, a mystery, or a horror. That's all it's going to be. This one is by Alex Finlay. I've actually never read anything by this author. This book is expected May 12th. Every year he comes for them. On one fateful night in 1992, the lives of two 17-year-olds are changed and intertwined forever. Quinn, a boy from the wrong side of the tracks, is arrested after he innocently tries to break up a fight but ends up nearly killing someone. Jules Delaney, high school royalty, survives an attack by the elusive and terrifying May Day killer, a serial predator who strikes every May 1st in Midwestern small towns. A year later, Jules is struggling with trauma and guilt, tormented by the "why was I spared?" Quinn is newly released from juvenile detention, returns home to freshly unresolved murder of his mother. Maybe that's supposed to be refresh. Over the next decade, their lives are revisited on a single day each year, May 1st. The secrets unravel and paths of Quinn and Jules collide. To mysteries edge closer to the truth. All the while, the Mayday killer is still out there, and the clock is racing toward another May 1st. The anniversary is an utterly compelling story. Blah, 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 blah. Very excited to read that one. And it almost makes you not want to get into somebody's mess because you trying to help somebody. Now, I don't know why you nearly killed them. Like, was it a one punch and you just that powerful? Or you lost your mind and you just was going in? I don't know. But it's like you trying to help somebody and you get yourself locked up. But that one really, really sounds good. Now, this next one on my list is a book that in my mind I thought I had already purchased. No. This is a book that I saw and put on my list to read, and it's The Secret Lives of Murderers' Wives by Elizabeth Arnott. This one is supposed to be released March 3rd, so that's coming up. I, in my mind, thought I had actually purchased this book, and like in a couple videos when I was going through my TBR, I was literally thinking about this book, and I was like, wait, that's not what this one is about. This book is basically about these women who were all, I know this one off the top of my head, who were all married to serial killers. And now they pretty much, their exes are either, in jail or, what have you. But they basically now come together to then solve other cases because, of course, they were married to these people. So they're like, we have like the inside track. And it doesn't say that they knew what they were doing, but they're like, wait, we know what to look for in these type of people. So they basically try to catch these killers. So I am very excited about that one because I literally thought I already owned it. I don't. It's just that I read it in Goodreads when I put it on my to buy list. All right, the next one also, this one is actually out already. It came out February 10th, or according to this, it came out. I have not been to the bookstore, honestly, in a couple weeks. Have I been at all this month? Outside of Dollar Tree, I don't think, maybe I've been once, and today's like the 18th. So that would have been like at the beginning of the month. But this one is actually out according to this. It's The Better Mother. And this one says, a woman ends up pregnant after a casual fling, but the father's girlfriend has I remember this one. Much more sinister intentions in this plot-driven suspense debut. A modern spin on Fatal Attraction meets The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, and perfect for the fans of The Last Mrs. Parrish. Now, I've seen Fatal Attraction. I love and grew up on The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Why was I watching that as a little child? I don't know. Even I knew that lady was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I was really excited when I saw that reference. So still recovering from a devastating breakup, 34-year-old Savannah Mitchell has finally managed to put her life back together when she finds out that the man she had a fling with has gotten her pregnant. His name is Max. When she gets in touch to tell him, he reveals that he's just gotten back together with his ex, Madison, and will need to break it to her. So Max and his girl were not together, but in that time span, they're back together now. So he's like, I need to tell her. And Madison isn't mad. She's actually very excited and wants to help. Y'all saw The Hand That Rocks the Cradle now. Max insists Madison has the best of intentions, but Savannah finds her efforts popping up uninvited, demanding lifestyle changes, pretty much trying to take over the pregnancy, not helpful. When Savannah finally stands up for herself, Madison's treatment of her goes from casually cruel to downright dangerous. All Savannah wants to do is form a friendly co-parenting relationship with the father of her child, and his new girlfriend obviously has much more sinister plans in mind. She has no plans to co-parent at all. First of all, baby girl, if your girl is acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, especially it's not like she cheated, she infiltrated this relationship, I'm not going to sit here and let your girlfriend make me feel like my life is in danger. Me and my child. Like, that's not going to happen. Absolutely not. The Midnight Taxi. So this is by Yosha Gunasekera. And this one will be out. This one might be already out. Okay, it says it was published on February 10th. So this one is out. When the last fear of the night turns up dead in the back seat. Turns up dead in her back seat. A Sri Lankan American taxi worker works off the clock to clear her name in this mystery. So basically, she's driving around. She's picked up a fare. She's the taxi driver, and that person ends up dead. So she's working to figure out what the heck happens. Siriwati Pira doesn't quite know where her life is going. She never expected to be a taxi cab driver in New York City, struggling to make ends meet, and still living with her parents at 28. So she's young. She's a true crime podcast enthusiast, and she listens to that as she drives around, and she is actually, as she drives, don't do much to make up for the legal career she imagined for herself or the brother she's grieving. So her brother has passed. When public defender Amaya Fernando gets into her cab, they make a quick connection through their shared Sri Lankan roots. Siri, whose social circle is limited to her grade school best friend Alex, thinks that things might be finally looking up with this new friendship, but she's suddenly dropped into her own true crime when she discovers her next passenger murdered in the back seat. And she has to call Amaya. Sooner than later. So basically, Amaya doesn't get murdered. She meets this woman. They form a connection, but her fare gets killed, and she calls Amaya to help her out. So Penn is the obvious and only suspect, and desperate to clear her name, Siri chases down leads across the boroughs of New York with Amaya's help. But with her court date looming, they just have 5 days to find out who really killed the midnight passenger, or if Siri's life will be over before she can truly live it. Sounds very interesting. I'm excited. Another one out February 24th, so just in a few days, How to Get Away with Murder. 2 books with the same name. Look at that. This one is by Rebecca Phillipson. And so far, all these other books I've read, I've never read anything by them. Only Shari Lapena and Tiffany D. Jackson. So all of these will be new authors to me. Expected February 24th, like I said. This one is a Scotland Yard. So we're going across the pond, y'all. Y'all know I like those books. Detective is trying to find the author of a self-help book that promises quite literally to teach you how to get away with murder, which seems to have inspired London's newest murder. So basically, someone writes a book, How to Get Away with Murder, and Scotland Yard is like, we need to go get you. We need to find you. Because why? Because now we got somebody who's been murdered, and it looks like they used your book. So Samantha Hansen, who's the detective inspector, has been on leave for 6 months, recovering from a breakdown she suffered at work. But when a 14-year-old girl is murdered in a local park, Sam jumps at the chance to return and prove that she still got what it takes to be the most successful homicide detective at the Yard. One of the case's only leads is a copy of a self-help book found in the victim's backpack called How to Get Away with Murder by a man named Denver Brady. Brady claims to be the most successful serial killer of our time. So this is written by a serial killer. I want to see the movie. Already, I want to see the movie. Which is why no one's ever heard of him. Chapter by chapter, he details his mythology and his past victims, and as Sam's investigation progresses and details of the book go viral, Sam begins to suspect that there's more to the author than what he's revealed. But in order to find a killer and get justice for young Charlotte, Sam must learn to trust her instincts once again before Denver Brady or someone else really does get away with murder. So that one just sounds really, really good. Here is the next one. It's called When I Kill You by B.A. Paris. This one is set to be released on February 17th. So a lot of these books are coming out this month. The multi-million copy in New York's best-selling B.A. Paris. So she's a big author. I ain't never heard of her, but she's a big deal. Who is watching Nell Masters? Nell Masters is certain someone is following her. The hairs on the back of her neck rise when she travels from work. There are silent calls to her office, a huge bouquet of flowers without a card, and she has a reason to be looking over her shoulder because she has a secret that she's been hiding from everybody, including her boo, Alex. Alex also has his own secret. 14 years earlier, when Nell went by the name Elle Nugent, she witnessed a student, Bryony Sanders, getting into a stranger's car. When Bryony? It's like Byron with a Y. Bryony was found murdered. Elle became obsessed with finding the person responsible. She was convinced she knew who it was, and her fixation with Brett Parker, the man she accused, led her down a dangerous path. Now Nell tries to convince herself that this unnerving feeling of being watched is all in her head. As someone from her past discovered her new identity, has the stalker become the stalked? Or is there something more deadly? So I feel like her boyfriend is actually this man, and maybe he got like a facelift or something. Or maybe he's like the cousin. Because I had read that book, Tell Me What You Did, and it was actually like the brother of the murderer. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Because she wouldn't have known the family members necessarily of this Brett person. I don't know. That's my guess. We'll know soon because it's coming out. I'm mad about this one because this is 2027. So we're going to skip that one and we'll come back. So this next one, Death at Daffodil Hill. Y'all, I can't read. Daffodil Inn by R.L. Kilmore. This is a new favorite of mine. She wrote I think it was her first book, A Cinnamon Falls Mystery. Absolutely loved it. Great representation of Black families. A predominantly, I'll say, Black community. I do feel like there were non-Black people in the book, but you know that it was like a lot of Black community here. But her second book is called Death at Daffodil Hill. If you want a Black Hallmark experience with a good mystery and not a lot of language, there is very minimal, from what I remember, language, except for like maybe hail or damn. If they said anything more than that, it was very, very little. There wasn't a lot of trauma. However, check trigger warnings because everybody is different. But for the most part, it's just a really good mystery. You got somebody, getting taken out. That's still there. So that can't be your trigger now. But it was nothing super intense. And I was really, really like, I can't wait for her next book. Her next one comes out. It's supposed to be February 26th. So we should be getting it soon. I would say read the first one. And if you like a little bit of romance, you're going to get that in the first one. You can get it in the first one. And we're going to talk about it in the second one. A budding romance. A dead body. Who can you trust? Filled with twists, tension, and undeniable chemistry, Death at Daffodil Inn is a must-read Cinnamon Falls mystery. Perfect for... Why won't it click? There we go. Perfect for fans of Gilmore Girls, Pretty Little Liars, and the Dream Harbor series. Spring is blooming in Cinnamon Falls, and the annual Daffodil Jubilee is full swing. And I will say, and I feel like this is just going to be like something that's always occurring in all the books, the last book took place like in October, so it was the big harvest fest. So you get those small town vibes. I love it. Morgan Taylor, who is reluctantly helping her parents host the event at the Daffodil Inn, wishes she could be left alone to daydream about Will, the dangerously hot single dad she can't seem to get out of her head. Now, Morgan is the friend of old girl from the first book. I can't think of her name right now. But this is her friend. So it looks like each of these are going to maybe piggyback off of like a different author. Not a different author, a different character in the book. So the first one was about the first girl, can't think of her name. But the second one is about her friend Morgan. And they're like best. Was Morgan the best friend? No. Morgan is the best friend. I was about to say, is this the brother's girlfriend? But no, because the brother is like still in high school. So he can't be the guy because he doesn't handle kids and he high school. But anyway, as the Jubilee draws to a close With the petals and promises dance, Morgan finds herself face to face with Will, but their magical moment is swiftly shattered by a blood-curdling scream. A guest has been found dead in the inn's garden maze, and whispers whisper through the murder. With the inn's future at stake, Morgan teams up with Will to solve the mystery. Can they uncover the truth before it's too late, or will their search only end in heartbreak? So I'm really excited. I wonder if they're going to pull in the other characters a lot, mainly because one of the major characters in the first book is actually a police officer who has a relationship and connection with Morgan's best friend. The tropes: single dad, amateur sleuth, love triangle, flawed victim. Ooh, love triangle. Wait. No, Will ain't got, no, the police officer ain't got no kids. So that ain't it. Friends to lover in small town setting. Yeah, people are saying if I can so just some information from people who read Cinnamon Falls Mystery. I already told y'all I liked it, but oh my goodness, yes, this book ticked all the right boxes for me. The sweet meets sinister in this perfect autumnal read. Screaming. I usually rotate with a thriller and a romance novel, but this had it all in one. I told y'all. Encompasses all I love in a book. A little bit of romance alongside a good mystery, plus a cozy atmosphere. Just what you need for a good night in. If I could rate it 10 stars, I would. So that's what people said about a Cinnamon Falls Mystery. Like I said, it's cute. It's going to give you all the feels. And I'm excited about that. The next one is actually book 3 in a series. I have read something by this author. It's Kristin, Perrin, How to Cheat Your Own Death. This is coming out in April of this year. So this series starts with the book How to Solve Your Own Murder. I guess the other one is to get away with this to solve them. Like there's a theme. So How to Solve Your Own Murder. And basically this young lady inherits or is in the running to inherit a property from her aunt, who, since she was like 16, got her fortune told like back in the 60s or 70s. And it basically said that somebody was going to kill her. So in that fortune, she would look for clues all her life. Now, this lady lived till she was old, but she was just so obsessed with that because she was like, this is going to happen. And she does end up being murdered. And then all these people in this woman's lives basically have to figure out who did it, and then they inherit all her stuff. So that's basically what book 1 is about, and it goes into the book 2. But what I liked about book 2, I thought was unique, that it still kind of ties back to the past and those relationships, and that a little bit on not just the original fortune, but other fortunes. So it was really good. So I'm excited about book 3. I liked 1 better than 2, but I also think book 2, it's like the sequel. The sequel will always hit right. So it wasn't bad. It was just a lot going on and a lot of people to filter through. So I'm excited to see what the book 3 will be about. Like I said, this one is coming out April 28th, and this one, okay, that says, I was like, wait, why does it say October? Okay, this one says, from the gritty streets of the 1960s. So I was correct. The fortune is like around the 1960s. Soho to the lofty galleries of present-day West London, 2 interlocking mysteries decades apart unfold in this latest installment in the award-winning, didn't know it won an award, but okay, New York Times best-selling, didn't know that, Castle Knoll Murder Mysteries, love it, series. Okay, some secrets are deadlier than others. 1968, Frances Adams, who is the original main character in the first book, who got the fortune and who had the millions, is loving her new life in London. And she stepped into a world of glamour thanks to her new friend, Vera Huntington, a magnetic socialite as mysterious as she is provocative. Vera dances around London like she owns it, taking Frances with her. Present day, when Annie Adams heads to London to visit her famous artist mother, Laura, the last thing she expects to find is a dead body. Lord have mercy. So this is, I don't want to tell y'all what happened, because if I say something, it's, okay. Kind of getting it in. Anyway, I don't want to say what I'm going to say because I don't want to give away some things that happen in book 1 and 2, but this is very interesting to me. Least of all for it to be Laura's new protege, left in an alley with her heart surgically removed from her chest. Dang. Y'all, I didn't even read this because I was like, I just know I want the next book, but you done surgically remove the heart? Lord. Yeah. Annie is no stranger to murder after all. She's not. She's solved a few already, and something about this case feels familiar. She's read about one just like it in the journals of her late great Aunt Frances, whose friend Vera was also killed in the 1960s in the exact same way. If you connected to Frances, just know somebody might be trying to come get you. Okay? Just know that, because that seems to be a theme. As Annie investigates, threats pile up on Laura's doorstep, and it soon becomes clear that she's next. Wow, with her mother's life on the line, can Annie find the killer before it's too late? So if you are reading the series and you haven't read book 2, you need to read book 2 because some things have changed in book 3. And this is number 3. I'm excited to see how they make that change based off of how they left off in book 2. So, okay. All right, so the last one on our list, I talked about this book, and this is the book I went to get in January, but it's not apparently coming out until March. It's the 4th installment in the Ernest Cunningham series. Everyone in this bank is a thief. I love all of them. There is the 3rd one, which is the Christmas one. It's a novella. It's not, in my opinion, I like 1 and 2 better, but it wasn't bad. Like, it was still good. I think it was just short. And it was like a Christmassy, it was a Christmas themed book, but still loved it. Still ready for the 4th one. Ernest Cunningham is back, and this is a short little summary. Ernest Cunningham is back for the next installment in this best-selling series. Nothing is quite what it seems in the spin on the classic bank heist with more suspects, more puzzles, and more danger than Ernest ever faced before. Perfect for fans of Richard Osman and Anthony Horowitz. Now, y'all know I like a Richard Osman, right? I already like Benjamin. And I will say, if you like Richard, you're going to like Benjamin because it is definitely a mystery. I need to look up who Anthony Horowitz is because if I love Richard and I love Benjamin, I feel like I'll probably like Anthony, right? So I'm going to look up some of their books, but that's what this one is about. Like I said, here it says it's going to be out in January, but when I went to Barnes to look for it, she told me that it's not coming out until like March or May, one of the M months. But anyway, those are all the books that I have. If you guys have some really good ones that y'all are looking forward to in those categories, y'all know I don't do nothing else. Thrillers, mysteries, a little bit of horror. Go ahead and drop them below. Are you excited to read any of these? I'm very, very excited. Hopefully it wasn't too lengthy with me reading them, but I wanted to make sure I was clear about what each book was about. So I had to read them, which is a little different, but you know, I just wanted to go ahead and put those out there. So I'm very excited to get these books, and I want to know what you guys are excited to read too. So as always, my name is Sarah Sho'Shanna. Thank you so much. If you just dropped in, you just found me, join the family. We're a cool group over here. And for those of you who keep coming back, I appreciate you. See you in the next one.